make an introduction here. Down from Butte County visiting us today is Miss Butte County and her court, Miss Teen Butte County and her court, and Miss Et Butte County and her court. We have Brianna Brockman, Marcy Boggs, Danielle Hart, Kristen Grace Baker, Alyssa Belser, Marissa Bachelari, and Raina Wright and Megan Oliver. Thank you for making the trip down here to be with us and gracing our Senate chamber.
Thank you, ladies, all very fine representatives, and we wish you well here in the Capitol today. Okay, we'll move on to the Senate third reading. File item 67, Senator DeSaulnier. Okay. Take a pass. Senator, item number 68, Senator De Leon. Not at his desk. Item 69, Senator Hancock. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 874 by Senator Hancock, an act relating to taxation.
Thank you, Mr. President. The purpose of SB 874 is to extend certain tax exemptions to property owners who receive Social Security disability insurance. Existing law allows school districts to choose to exempt two classes of people from paying parcel taxes, other special taxes. Specifically, people over the age of 65 and people receiving supplemental security income, SSI. SB 874 is intended to extend the opportunity for a tax exemption to a third class of property owners, individuals who receive SSDI. Existing law does not cover this group. Individuals who receive SSDI must meet strict requirements. They must have previously paid into Social Security or be eligible for a Social Security account. They must be unable to perform substantial work because of a physical or mental impairment. Other factors such as age, education, and work experience are also used to evaluate eligibility. SSDI is similar to SSI, which is given an exemption under current law. Both are intended to provide aid to individuals who face barriers to employment and are administered by the Social Security Administration. SB 874 would bridge the gap between the two by allowing beneficiaries of both programs the opportunities to receive a tax exemption. SB 874 is permissive. It is not mandatory. It allows school districts to provide these tax exemptions only if they choose to do so, and it does nothing to change the 2/3 vote requirement for voters. It's a straightforward way of proceeding. It passed unanimously out of Governance and Taxation, and I would ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator. Is there any further debate or discussion? Any debate or discussion? Item 69, Senator Anderson.
Members, I rise in support of this bill. I think it's a great step in the right direction. I also want to point out that on the Howard Jarvis alert list, this was not listed, and I ask for your aye vote.
Any further debate or discussion? Seeing none, Senator Hancock, you may close.
I ask for your aye vote.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Blakesley. Aye. Calderon. Cannella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. LaMalfa. Aye. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price.
Aye.
Aye. Rubio. Runner. Semidian, Steinberg, I. Strickland, I. Vargas, I. Walters, I. Wolk, I. Wright, I. Wyland, Yee. Yee, aye.
Call the absentees.
Berryhill, I. Calderon, Kehoe, Rubio, Runner, Semidian, I. Wyland.
Ayes 35, no 0. That bill is passed. Item 70, Senator Steinberg. Item 70.
Mr. President, I'm going to put this bill over until tomorrow's session, and we'll take it up tomorrow. As long as I have the floor, if you don't mind, I also want to indicate that per conversation with the minority leader, SB 654, the Affordable Housing Bill, I'll also put over till tomorrow, and we'll take it up tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Moving on, file item 72. Senator Steinberg. Okay, we'll pass. File item 73. Senator Leno, pass. I file item 74. Senator Leno, pass. File item 75. Senator Leno, are you taking this up for?
Senator Steinberg's going to take it up for Senator Kehoe.
Oh, okay. Senator Steinberg's taking up 75 for Senator Kehoe? No? Dave. Okay. Item 76, Senator Pavley. Not here yet?
She's not here.
Okay. I need Senator Pavley, are you prepared to take up item 76? File item 76. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 455 by Senator Pavley, enacting to forestry.
Yes, members. Senate Bill 455, I'll have to admit to you, is a work in progress. If you attended or listened to the Natural Resources and Water hearing held a few weeks ago, I see Gene Fuller over there, we spent a lot of time on this. It's a bill that I had committed to early on in the process that it'll come back to this Senate committee if it moves forward from this House and then on to the Assembly. It is in progress. It has the potential. But I also want to share with you right now, it's something that is a voluntary approach to help better manage what we call timber harvest plans in a bigger, broader sense, in a watershed sense. I'm interested in the bill on a personal level from the environmental perspective, which of course I would have, because there's a mitigation provision that we have never had in state law or statute, which would require when timberlands are converted to something else, like a subdivision or something like that, that they would have to mitigate for the loss of carbon, which we need to have in place in order to meet our climate goals. Under AB 32, we have a 5% reduction of greenhouse gas emissions envisioned in our scoping plan. This is a creative opportunity, and I think it's worthy of a prolonged discussion. If we don't get this right, believe me, there won't be support on either side, but it is a worthy discussion to have. My staff has worked very long on this bill for the last year. This wasn't a gut and amend. We've had a stakeholder process. Some stakeholders engaged later than others, and those are the people that might have concerns today. We're committing to you that we'll be working collaboratively with both the Forestry Association, who's been actually quite wonderful to deal with, and some of the environmental groups that still have concerns. This bill is sponsored by the Nature Conservancy and the Pacific Forest Trust, and is being supported today by the California Forestry Association. There are amendments that will have to occur to make this bill acceptable to both sides if it should move through the Assembly, as I hope it will. This bill creates a new approach for a voluntary, and I want to repeat the word voluntary, optional method to harvest timber on a watershed basis. Instead of a project-by-project review, it would be on a broader review so we can better assess cumulative impacts on things like impacts to water quality, and other issues. It offers a more complete, broader environmental analysis over a 20-year plan. Scientists and environmental organizations complain that these hundreds of small-scale timber harvest plans, that it's often difficult to have a very good environmental analysis. This 20-year plan, Watershed Timber Harvest Plan, would have only be approved if all the agencies, DFG, regional boards, Department of Finance, Department of Conservation, all agree. So today I ask for your support in allowing me to move forward to work collaboratively with all the stakeholders in this process as it goes through the Assembly. I ask for your aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Debate or discussion? Senator Leno. One moment, Senator Leno. Let's see if we can bring the chamber to order. One moment, please, Senator Leno. Members? Please proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a question for the author, please.
Senator Pavley, are you prepared to take a question from Senator
Voice
Leno?
permitting, yes.
Senator Leno, please proceed.
Thank you. Senator Pavley, the issue of clear cutting has come up in the conversations and negotiations, I would imagine. Where's that issue?
Well, clear cutting isn't banned in statute anywhere in California. It's not really in the bill. All the existing laws are in place just as they are today.
Is that a request that you've had from some of the opposing voices?
Yes, some people wanted us to ban. This is not the bill.
Right.
A different bill could certainly do that, and something that I may be supportive of.
Sure.
But there's a different mechanism. It's not part of what I will call a trade-off between the necessary mitigation that needs to take place regarding timber conversion on lands. We're losing our forests, right? And we need to, on a global level, keep as many of them as possible. And the trade-off of, if it's not 10 years or if 20 years, whatever the number is, some kind of trade-off with the timber industry to accomplish both objectives, a more robust environmental analysis on a watershed review, and something in statute relating to mitigation, required mitigation from any conversion on timberlands. I think we can get there, and if we can't, I will pull the bill myself.
I have great trust that the goal of your bill is admirable, and I know that you're struggling to move the issue forward, and you've already stated that if you're not able to get the consensus that you're looking for, that you will not be moving the bill forward if it leaves this House. So though I do have some concerns at this time, I think to stop a bill in the first House ends the conversation and doesn't allow you to even attempt to go further. So though without any certainty of what the bill might look like, should it get back to us on concurrence, I'm happy to support you today.
Further debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Pavley, you may close.
I would appreciate your support to allow me to continue to work on the bill. You will see it again, hopefully in a new and improved and better form that would have the support of all stakeholders in the process. I ask for your aye vote.
Secretary, call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Berryhill. Blakesley. Calderon. Canella. Corbett. Correa. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Emerson. Evans. Fuller. Gaines. Hancock. Harmon. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Kehoe. LaMalfa. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Semidian.
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Wolk. Wright. Wyland. Yee. Yee, no. Anderson, no. Anderson, no.
Secretary, please call the absent members.
Berryhill. Blakesley. Calderon. Canella. Corbett. Correa. Aye. Dutton, Emerson, Evans, Fuller, Gaines, Hancock, Harmon, Huff, Kehoe, Runner, Strickland, Walters, Wolk, Wright, right eye, Wyland.
Mr. Secretary?
Lowenthal, aye.
Mr. Secretary, please call the absent members.
Berryhill, Blakesley, Calderon, Canella, aye. Corbett, Dutton, Emerson, Evans, Fuller, aye. Gaines, no. Hancock, Harmon, Huff, aye. Kehoe, Lamoffa, Runner, Strickland, Walters, Wolk, Wyland.
Ayes 21, noes 3. The bill is passed. Members, that takes us to file item 77. Members, a correction here to the notice in the file. This is a Price bill. Senator Price, are you prepared to take this item up?
I am.
Then, Mr. Secretary, will you please read?
Senate Bill 924 by Senator Price, an act linked to healing arts.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, after much deliberation and discussion, this bill provides that patients...
Senator Price, one moment, please. Members, if you could, please bring the House to order. Once again, if you could please bring the House to order. Senator Price, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill provides that patients may seek therapy treatment directly from a physical therapist without having to receive a referral from a physician, but that after 30 days or 12 visits, a physical therapist would have to receive specified authorization from a physician to continue treatment, including an examination. It also requires the physical therapist provide the patient with a written notice on the limitations of his or her treatment. The bill also provides that a medical corporation or a podiatric corporation can employ physical therapists and that the physician may refer patients directly to the physical therapist employed by the corporation. However, as an added benefit for the consumer and patient, the physician must also notify the patient that he or she has the option to get physical therapy services elsewhere if he or she wishes to do so. Physical therapists will also be allowed to form their own corporation under this measure. Both of these issues, direct access to physical therapy services and allowing employment of physical therapists by medical corporations, has been very controversial. With the leadership of the Pro Tem and his office, along with the Business and Professions Committee and Senator Walters, we believe this proposal represents a clearly crafted compromise and strikes an important balance between these two health care practitioners. It will allow California consumers to benefit from a limited, measured form of direct access to physical therapy services, while ensuring medical and podiatric corporations can continue to provide informed patients with comprehensive, one-stop physical therapy and other treatment services. In the real world, this proposal will bring California in line with many other states, providing California patients a much stronger framework for obtaining physical therapy treatment services. For now, there is no opposition to this bill, but we will continue to work with all interested parties, as we've done for the past several months, to reach a consensus on this measure. I respectfully ask for your aye votes.
Debate or discussion? Senator Walters.
Thank you, Mr. President and Senators. I rise in support of SB 924. First, I would like to thank Senator Price and Senator Steinberg for working so hard to find a middle ground on this issue. SB 924 will bring California in line with the standards of the profession of physical therapy already employed in neighboring states. The malpractice carrier that covers physical therapists is the same here in California as it is in other states. The carrier has clearly stated that there is no data to show there is any increased risk associated with direct access. In states that have direct access, insurers pay for physical therapy services. SB 924 does not mandate that insurers pay for these services, but carriers may cover these services if they choose to. Finally, SB 924 contains language granting medical corporations the authority to employ physical therapists. Along with other senators and policy committee, I opposed a bill containing these provisions because of the marketplace imbalance it would have created. However, with the establishment of direct access included in the bill, I am confident that the marketplace will function openly and fairly. SB 924 improves access to care for patients, and I urge you to join Senator Price, Senator Steinberg, and myself in supporting this important legislation with your aye vote.
Further debate or discussion? Senator Steinberg.
Yes, thank you very much. Mr. President, I just don't want to let the moment pass because I want to thank Senator Price and Senator Walters and my staff, certainly, and all who are involved in this. This is one of these frequent, not infrequent, instances in the legislature that doesn't get a lot of fanfare, where you have a very difficult, kind of emotional dispute between stakeholders around a very important issue, and where through a lot of hard work and good leadership by the members, again, Senators Price and Walters, they are able to forge a compromise here that helps put an issue to bed and allows everybody to move forward. And it's a good compromise. It allows for direct access with the limitations, and I strongly urge an aye vote.
Further debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Price, you may close.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, I think this does represent a compromise. It's in the best interest of not only the consumers, but also the professionals involved. And we still obviously are going to be working with all interested parties as it continues to move forward. But at this point, I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Yes. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. Aye. Berryhill. Aye. Blakesley. Aye. Calderon. Canella. Aye. Corbett. Aye. Correa. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Aye. Emerson. Aye. Evans. Aye. Fuller. Aye. Gaines. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. Aye. Hernandez. Huff. Aye. Kehoe. LaMalfa. Leno. Aye. Ted Lieu. Aye. Carol Lieu. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Semidian. Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. Aye. Vargas. Aye. Walters. Aye. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Yee. Yee, aye.
Mr. Secretary, please call the absent members.
Correa, aye. Calderon. Hernandez. Kehoe. LaMalfa. Runner. Wyland. LaMalfa, aye. Calderon, aye.
Ayes 36, noes 0. The bill is passed. Members, that completes the consideration of items on our daily file. We are returning to motions and resolutions. Do we have any items under motions and resolutions? Motions and resolutions. If not, then if there is no other business, Senator Steinberg? If there is no other business, Senator Steinberg, I believe the desk is clear.
There is one other item of business, if I might. File item 77. Excuse me. No, we did that. Never mind.
Could it be file item 75 by any chance, Senator? This would be the Kehoe bill?
Nope.
No?
It is it's item 72, SB 764.
Members, returning to file item 72 on our daily file. This is under Senate third reading. We'll ask the Secretary to please read.
Senate Bill 764 by Senator Steinberg, enacting to developmental services.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill establishes a pilot demonstration project to evaluate the efficacy of telehealth in providing training and early intervention services for young children with autism spectrum disorders. As you know, last year, this legislature passed a major bill providing expanded treatment for behavioral therapy. This is another innovative practice here that can help children, their families, learn how to help themselves and their kids with autism. I've talked to Senator Yee. I know he's going to speak in a moment and express some concerns. I'm committed to working with him and with others as the bill moves forward. I'd urge an aye vote.
Debate or discussion? Senator Yee.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I know I spoke about this particular point in committee and have reiterated the point to the President Pro Tem Steinberg. I am very, very supportive of new and innovative procedures and strategies to deal with all kinds of health and social issues. So the argument for me is not so much that we should not and ought not to try these new strategies. I think the concern that I have is to ensure that with these kinds of innovative techniques, as parents adopt these new techniques and it turns out that it may not necessarily work for them, after that trial period, that they can go back to the original strategies that they were using, that they were given either through IEPs or IPPs, that just simply because they decided to try these new strategy and it is now included in their IEPs or IPPs or other contractual agreements, that they don't lose that contractual obligation of the agency if, in fact, it turns out that after a period of time, that trial period doesn't work, that they still can come back to it, and that's all. And I understand that that issue is going to be dealt with in the Assembly as we continue to work on this issue. And with that, I am supportive.
Further debate or discussion? Senator Emerson.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. This bill would be very supportive by the Republicans if we did not limit it to just two types of analysis. There are a number of others. Unfortunately, Senator Steinberg's bill has picked out the two most expensive therapies. They're not always shown to be the most effective. And I would gladly support this measure if we included all other treatment modalities in this bill. But as of now, I can't support it.
Further debate or discussion? Further debate or discussion? Seeing and hearing none, Senator Steinberg, you may close on this item.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Well, look, I'm to Senator Emerson. I understand. Okay, the bill hopefully moves to the second house, and I'm certainly open and desirous of expanding treatment options for kids with autism. So we'll continue to explore that. And with Senator Yee, I think we can commit absolutely taking amendments that address your concerns over in the Assembly. I'd urge an aye vote.
Secretary, call the roll.
Alquist. Aye. Anderson. No. Berryhill. No. Blakesley. No. Calderon. Aye. Canella. Corbett. Aye. Correa. Aye. De Leon. Aye. DeSaulnier. Aye. Dutton. Emerson. No. Evans. Aye. Fuller. No. Gaines. Hancock. Aye. Harmon. No. Hernandez. Aye. Huff. Kehoe. LaMalfa. No. Leno. Aye. Tedlew. Aye. Carolou. Aye. Lowenthal. Aye. Negrete McLeod. Aye. Padilla. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Price. Aye. Rubio. Aye. Runner. Semidian.
Aye.
Aye. Steinberg. Aye. Strickland. No. Vargas. Aye. Walters. No. Wolk. Aye. Wright. Aye. Wyland. Yee. Yee. Aye.
Please call the absent members.
Canella. No. Dutton. No. Gaines. No. Huff. Kehoe. Runner. Wyland.
Ayes 24, noes 12. The bill is passed. Members, let me confirm one last time that completes all items on the daily file. Senator Wright, for what purpose do you rise, sir?
Condition of the file, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
You know, members, this will be the third time I've made reference to this, but again, a number of cities are right now contemplating bankruptcy. In reference to our redevelopment action of a while back, one of the things that we didn't take into account was monies that those cities lent their redevelopment agencies, in some cases as much as $100 million, to get the agency started. In order to accommodate that debt, some of them are claiming that it places them into a level of uncertainty which they would prefer to resolve in bankruptcy. The challenge with that, again, members, is that it will further exacerbate the downward pressure on the bonds that many of those municipalities are carrying. So this just becomes that gift that keeps on giving. So we may see in the next couple of weeks a number of cities file bankruptcy in order to protect revenue that they think that they're due because of the incomplete nature of the legislation that we passed. The next wave, by the way, that you're going to see is on a prospective basis. There are some 30+ thousand low to moderate income housing units that people are living in that have been funded through increments that are not yet clear who's going to pay it. By the summer, you could well see those 30,000 people evicted from their low to moderate income houses because there's no one to fund the subsidy that was agreed to by the agency that will be defunct in a week.
Senator Wright, one moment, please, while we quiet the chambers. Members? One moment, please.
So as I...
One moment, please,
I'm
Senator.
sorry.
I do want the chamber to give you its complete attention, Senator Wright.
So as I conclude this, again, we're looking in a few months that we're going to see the first waves of low to moderate income housing units switch back to market rate. In addition, you're looking potentially at some cities that opt to do bankruptcy to protect the multi-million-dollar investments that they made that now remain in limbo. So keep watching, and I'll probably have another story tomorrow and or Thursday.
Thank you, Senator Wright. Senator Steinberg, I believe I may now say, if there is no other business, the desk is clear.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We will have session tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock to take up the remainder of the two-year bills. The deadline is tomorrow. Those bills will, of course, include SB 52 and SB 654, among several other bills. But it should be about an hour-long session. If that, we'll see you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Steinberg. Members, as you've just heard the pro tem announce, the Senate will be in recess until 3:30, at which time the adjournment motion will be made. We will reconvene tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Without objection, the Senate stands in recess.